Hi everyone, it's Stephanie here, and today I have a card to share that features the new Simon Says Stamp September card kit. This month's kit features some great new pattern papers from My Mind's Eye called Chalk Studio, and they have these really great chalkboard patterns on one side, but on the other side they have these really great basic patterns in muted colors like pinks and blues and grays, which are really awesome to use as background papers on card fronts. So I decided to go a little bit different with this kit and use the background for this particular card. And I'm going to also be using the new exclusive stencils that come in the kit, which are these banner forms there. And then I'm also going to be using the new exclusive stamp set that comes in the kit. And I want to focus on the flower images in the stamp set. So what I'm going to do is I've went ahead and figured out where the center of my little piece of pattern paper is, and I've also did the same with the banner stencil and just kind of put a little notch there to figure out where the center was. And this was just kind of so I could get the banner opening exactly centered onto the piece of pattern paper where I wanted it. So rather than use the stencil for like a paint or a wet medium, I decided to use it as a stencil for some stitching. And rather than use my paper piercer because I don't want the holes really large, I'm just using the needle that I'm actually going to sew with, and I'm going around the inside of that banner stencil and just poking holes all the way around that. So you can see there I have them all poked in there. And my plan is to use some brown thread and actually stitch that banner rather than use it as a stencil as it was intended. So now what I've done is I've just taken a piece of Post-it note sticky tape and I've just adhered it over top of where the opening of the banner is, just slightly under the stitching, because I want to do some stamping and I just don't want to get any of that stamping ink on the inside of the banner. So now I'm just going to use the flower images that come in the stamp set. There's some really great solids that work well with the Hero Art Shadow Inks. So I'm using Soft Cantaloupe, Bubblegum, and Pale Tomato. And I've kind of already played around with the spacing and stuff and the flower images and kind of figured out where I want stuff to be. So I kind of have an idea already preset before I started doing my stamping. And then as you can see there, I also created a couple of masks for the flower images. I just did one set of masks, and then as I go I just kind of move them around to where I need them as I'm doing my stamping. And this is just so I don't overlap the stamping of the flower petals when I'm going and doing the stamping, since I have them so close together here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of speed this up a bit as I do all the stamping. And as like I said, as you can see there, I just kind of move the masks. Once I do my stamping there, I'm going to add the leaves. And then I just move all those flower masks to the other side so I can go ahead and do the stamping of the leaves on that side. And then once I have all that done, I can just go ahead and peel up all the masks and also peel up the Post-it note on the banner image. And I don't think I get it on to camera. I think I stamped it off camera, so I apologize for that. But I just went ahead and stamped the sentiment when I finished the flower stamping, and I just stamped the thank you directly in the center of the banner, and then I added the for everything at the bottom. And now I just went ahead and added the Post-it note tape back to the banner, but I just positioned it along the bottom stitching line. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add my little bit of flower and leaf images on the bottom as well. So I kind of layered those so that they kind of went around the for everything sentiment to make it all kind of look cohesive and as it was supposed to be that way. So now you can see there the thank you that I had already stamped. And then once I have all the flowers stamped how I want them, I just wanted to add a little bit more color to the center of the flowers rather than just leave the little white dots that you see there. So I'm just going to use my Cup of Joe Shadow ink, which is a really great brown color and is actually the same color I used to stamp the sentiment. And I'm just using the tip of my stylus and tapping it onto the ink pad and then tapping it onto the center of the flowers. And it transfers enough ink so that you end up with some cute little dots there to mimic the white ones that were already there. And then once all the stamping is done, I can go ahead and sew my banner. So I'm just going to use the same needle that I used to put the holes in the first place, and just some basic brown thread, and I'm just going around and completely sewing the whole banner image there. And then once I have it completed, I'll just use some basic tape to tape that down on the back so that I don't have to worry about any of the thread pulling out once I have the card assembled. And then as you can see there, now it's a perfectly shaped banner, and it's just got a nice fun element with the thread they're stitched on, and then the flowers look like they're coming from behind the banner. So once I have that done, I just wanted to add a little bit more something to the card. I didn't want to take too much away from the stitch banner since that was the focal point, but I wanted just to add a little bit more to the flowers. So I just used my Wink of Stella clear glitter marker and just went around and added glitter to all of the flower images and to the leaves. And then I just matted that onto a piece of gray cardstock and adhered it to the front of the card. And I also added a couple pearls to the center of the main flower. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.